Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Highland Reserve, where we join you today at the crack of dawn for a little update on some of the out-of-hours developments that have taken place. So, last episode I spoke about this little area of our pig pen where the water would gather and become a messy pig palace bath thing. And now it is one. I've also put some decorations in it to make it look a bit swampy, but mostly to hide the borders of that bit of enrichment around there. Oh, I don't know if I already showed this last time, but put some clipboards on the back of this education wall to create a bit of a workstation for security. It's not really useful in game, but it's a nice little touch. Also, these barriers that I put up in front of the staff walkways, I did not realise that they also stopped staff from walking through. Obviously I do find that out because I'm saying it now, but caused some problems along the way. We also had a bit of work done for guest services. Unfortunately the contractors came in during the evening hours, by which I mean I recorded it at night in game, so footage is very dark and ultimately useless. But it is just a box. Not the most imaginative design I could have come up with, but narratively we're a beginner zoo. We would be surviving on donations and try to make the most of every bit of money that we have, so it's utility over fancy design and conceptual. Anyway, it'll do for now. The animal of the day you may recognise from films such as Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park 2. I'm not going to do that. It's a chicken, descendant of the dinosaurs, mighty and fierce, and oh so tasty. That's right, today we are sticking with our plan, using farm animals that we can get hold of easily from, well, any old farm, really. Just not the most interesting and exciting way to go, but everyone's got to start somewhere. And we need to prove that we can take care of these animals before we start getting offers for rescue and conservation of rarer and more exotic animals. Or maybe there's a patch of land somewhere in, I don't know, the rainforest. No, there's not going to be a zoo in the rainforest. Somewhere. Maybe there's a patch of land somewhere where we can open a new conservation park and have more appropriate animals for the climate. Although some zoos in the UK do have animals that belong in tropical or frigid temperatures, I wouldn't say it's ideal. So once we've established ourselves with this farm zoo and we've proven that we can take care of animals, we'll see what opportunities there are outside of the UK. Maybe outside of Europe. I'm thinking somewhere hot. Maybe Australia? Sounds nice. South America. Let's go open a wildlife reserve in Brazil. Oh, yes. Somewhere nice and hot. We'll look forward to it. That will be our next big zoo. And that one, we'll start with everything unlocked. So we should be able to kick off with a really nice, fancy entrance and exotic animal. That's not really how it's going to work, is it? No. We're going to start off with tortoises. And we're going to have a wooden gate. Which is more than we started with here, to be fair. So not the end of the world. What was I saying? Oh yeah, chickens. Yeah, chickens. Yeah, I wanted to make a slightly traditional, I don't know how common these are, the quirky little chicken coops that you see lining farms. You know, rural farms, not like the big chicken producers. The local places. They have these quirky little themed houses, all bright colours, where you have a little access at the back to get into the eggs, and they're off the ground, protected from foxes. They usually have a door at the front that you can close at night. I haven't added those to this one because, well, I'm trying to attract foxes so I can keep them. I actually have a few ideas for different types of chicken coops that I would have liked to have tried. Perhaps I'll do that in the future. At the moment I'm just trying to really hammer home that fresh business, money saving. I mean, you'll see, so far the 2 enclosures that I've built are quite small, really. You know, I can't fit more than 1 family of animals in each pen, which is why I'm trying to get them the highest appeal animals that I can. But I figure we only need to meet the social requirements of the animal. We're not trying to, we're not trying to breed these for food. That's not the objective of this farm. It's more of a providing a space for these animals that they can be happy and live out their lives in. Granted, with the mechanics of the game, they do get recycled quite a bit. I do swap in and out so that we're not inbreeding, and so that we can gain some conservation credits as a bit of, that's what I'm considering my reputation, really, my ability to acquire animals through conservation credits. But yeah, we're keeping about 1 family of animals at the moment, especially for these farm animals where they're already mass produced at other sites. We don't really need a huge field full of pigs or chickens. Maybe for something like cows or sheep where they're a bit more, they're more herd animals. It makes more sense to have a larger number of those wandering around. And obviously, if we find ourselves in an opportunity where someone's asked us to rescue or take in some rescue animals, we'll obviously build that out a little larger so that we've got more capacity for that sort of thing. Because eventually, it's those sorts of acquisitions that are going to lead to us having a greater reputation within the community and being offered more of those opportunities. And it's just good to be able to take an animal that's in need and give it a quality home. Not that the pigs and the chickens haven't got a quality home, just that we don't need an army of pigs. I actually really like how these coops turned out. They got a little bit of personality to them. They would have function if they had that in the game. It would have been nice to have some little chicken boxes, if they included smaller beds, because the small bed is the one that we've put in there. It's obviously too big for the coop. So if they had like a chicken box, that would be quite a cool addition, I think. I think new types of beds. I know they've got burrows in there. Don't know if they have nests. Yeah, it'd be good to see something like that. Yeah, try to give these a bit of a differentiation as well. Change a few colours on some of the slats for either one, and then have one of them with the back propped open, one with it closed. Just to give it a little bit of something different, so it's not just copy and paste, even though that's what it is. And yeah, I was really excited to see the chickens climbing all over it. I was prepared for them not to be able to navigate the whole thing. The upstairs was more of an aesthetic addition, but I've seen other animals climbing around, being able to navigate structures. So I was fairly confident this was going to be okay. But of course, it'd be too easy if everything just went to plan, wouldn't it? Fences again are very simple, just chicken wire, I know generally it would be fine to have guests in this habitat. I think the chickens are allowed. They're comfortable with people, so it wouldn't have been an issue. I think as much as possible, unless they're animals that are used to people and they're used to being around people socially, some animals that are raised around people, they benefit from being around them. But otherwise, I would rather keep people separate. So as much as I've got these really light, simple fences, I do end up putting a bit of space between the path and the barrier so that guests can't stick their fingers in. Because I know what people are like. See a hole, you want to poke it. See an animal, you want to touch it. No touching. Anyway, we're nearly ready now that the fences are going up to get our chickens in. So I'm going to go away now and let you witness our chickens' first experience of their new homes. I will see you again shortly. That's right, the chicken hitbox is apparently enormous, which meant I had to, well, I started by gently rearranging the front of the chicken coop to see if I could improve the situation, swiftly giving up on that idea, and furiously tearing it apart, just trying to make a hole big enough for the chicken to get in, so that I can forget it and move on. This turned out to only be half the problem, because apparently having the beds in there stop them from walking in. Make that make sense. And then once again, so far the bane of my existence in this playthrough, did not count as hard shelter. So after all that, I had to stick a pallet across the top to stop the rain. The things we do for our animals, right? Okay. Well, that's about it from the building. There's a little bit of landscaping left to do, including quite a large forage box for the size of the habitat. It would be nice if there was a different size box for smaller animals. It does take up a considerable amount of the chicken space, but we'll work with what we've got. I'm going to leave you to it now. Please enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you in the next one.